is that everyone is talking about alien stuff right now. Everybody's seeing stuff in the sky. Everybody's talking about UAPs, UFOs, and all this stuff. And one guy in particular who claims that he can summon these UAPs, but he doesn't even like to put them in the category of aliens. He puts them as angels, angelic, something that was sent from God. Okay, biblical. All right, not none of this new age alien stuff. Okay, but whatever. Anyways, so this man, his name is Chris Bledsoe, and I didn't really see much of him before, but after I started like looking him up and researching him, now I feel like everybody and their grandma is talking about Chris Bledsoe and talking about his kids too, because he has like I don't even know, like a million and one kids. I mean, there's
I
Chris
think
Jr.
he has 4 kids.
That's still a lot. That's still a lot of kids. Yes,
Yeah, but
Chris
he's like
Jr.
80, so that's kind of the norm.
Oh, that's true. But yeah, so there's Chris Jr., there's Ryan Bledsoe, and then there's a daughter. I'm blanking on her name, but and so there would be like one more somewhere between there. But so far, all I've seen is Chris Jr., Ryan, and the daughter. That's all I've seen. I haven't seen a fourth child, only three. So basically, Chris Bledsoe is a man, obviously, but like I forgot what state that he lives in, but he lives in some state in like
He's
some
in
rural
North
area.
Carolina.
North Carolina. There we go. There we go. And he started off like very successful, making lots of money. He was like building houses, right? Well, I think he was primarily around like the military base, wasn't he? So he was making houses for like those people,
I
military.
want to say he said it was near Fayetteville. I'm not super. I don't know North Carolina, so I don't know if there's like an army base nearby or whatever. But
Oh, yeah. I feel like I heard somebody say that either he or like a son or somebody said that, but whatever. So that's besides the point. The point is that he was very successful making these houses, business was thriving, okay? They were living good. But then he claims that after the 9/11 incident, um everything came tumbling down for him. Okay. Nobody was really buying houses like that. Everything was crashing and he couldn't really get any business for real. So he started losing a lot of money. And then when was it? I forgot around what year, but at some point he lost his house. He literally lost everything. Had to move in on like a trailer that's on his parents' land. So like he was like neighbors with his parents and his parents own like a huge thing of land. So they just like park their trailer on their land. And on top of losing all of his finances and everything like that, he also got Crohn's disease. So this man was hit with a lot, okay? He was losing his money, his health was declining. I mean, depression, everything was hitting him all at once during this time, okay? And it was also hitting his kids too, because I remember Ryan talking about it on the Bledsoe Said So. They have a podcast. Bledsoe Said So. And he was talking about like going through that as a kid, like at like 12 years old. At one point you're living a life, everything is great, great school, great neighborhood, and everything like that. And the next thing you know, boom, everything just comes crumbling down, and you're just a kid and you're just trying to like understand like what's happening. And so moving from like somewhere really nice to, now having to live in a trailer and being poor and not having money for food or food for school and everything like that. Like just like the flip of all of that was like really hard for him, growing up. And I'm sure it was hard for the rest of the family as well, you know. So yeah. So then jump to the exciting parts, okay? So one day Chris Jr. wanted to go out fishing. Chris was not really feeling the vibes like that, but he was like, you know what, my son wants to go, so I'll go. So it was him, his son, and then I believe he said these were his co-workers slash like friends that they all went fishing together. Okay. And so there's like a river that's by where their land was at, and it's called Cape Fear River. Okay. So Chris Jr.'s out, and Chris helps his son, gets all set up, gets his fishing line going and everything like that. But like I already said, Chris wasn't really feeling the vibes to go fishing. So he was like, you know what, I'm going to take a walk. So he takes a walk, he's walking, he's just like all this stuff on his mind, like I already said, he doesn't have any money. He's dealing with Crohn's disease, he's depressed. I mean, there's just so much on his mind. So he's walking, trying to clear his mind. And he said that in his head, I don't think he said he called out loud. I think he said in his head, he started calling out to God. And you know what? Honestly, when he talks about this part, it kind of gets me a little like, because he claims that he grew up Christian and he is a Christian. He says that he is Christian. But when he talks about God, it was like not very Christian like, for lack of better words, not in a very Christian way. It basically, like, because he was saying like, oh, I was calling up to God or whoever gods or whatever's up there. It's like, well, wait a minute. If you're a Christian, then you should know who's up there and you should know who you're calling out to and whatnot. It shouldn't be like, oh, the gods, the goddesses, or whatever, the universe or whatever that's up there, because that's not biblical. But you know what? That's okay. That's
Has
okay. So
that been a common point? Like, has he always said that every time he tells the story, or did you just pick up
yes,
on
he
that?
does.
Okay.
No, yeah, he really does. And I started to notice that he would say that. And he would say that even when he's like just like referencing to God, he'll just be like, or to God or to whoever's up there. To whoever's up there.
Hmm.
Ain't you Christian? Like, what do you mean? To whoever's up there. Like, I'm a little confused. And I don't know. That was the first like kind of like weird thing that I noticed about him. But we're gonna get into more things later. But anyways, so he said that he called out, and then all of a sudden, this lights, he couldn't describe it at first. Now he calls it orbs. But at first he was just saying like this like bright light thing just came in front of him, and then he saw like these humanoid looking beings that were in the woods. And so he saw, he was scared, he ran and hid. But he said that while he was hiding, it was like it knew that he was there. Like he couldn't hide from it. Like it knew that it was there, and it was kind of like following him low key. So anyways, apparently according to him, he was taken by these entities, okay, for 4 hours. And he could not remember what happened in those 4 hours at all. I think later on he talks about how he went to see a doctor. Or no, he didn't go see it. Or did he go see a doctor? Well, yes, he did see someone who ended up being like a friend to him, but then he ended up passing away at some point. But yeah, and he helped him like kind of remember what happened in those 4 hours. But in the moment, he couldn't remember. And he didn't even realize that he was taken for 4 hours. Like he had no idea. Whole time, Chris Jr. at some point starts to freak out and wonder where his dad is at, because he's like, okay, 20 minutes go by, okay, cool. An hour, 2 hours, he's like, okay, where's my dad? So he goes out searching for his dad. Coworkers try to help, find what happened to Chris. And so Chris, he ends up like, I don't know, coming back somehow after being gone for 4 hours. He ends up coming back, and he was like, oh my gosh, I need to find my son. Where's my son? Blah, blah, blah. He finds his son, and his son also ends up having a similar experience to what his dad had. Now, he wasn't taken for like hours, but he did encounter these entities. He did see them. And he described them as like kind of like white with like red eyes, big red eyes. Actually, there's going to be a picture. We'll show the picture. White, big red eyes, kind of like human looking with the hands and like the way that the body is shaped, but you could tell that it's not human. And so, yeah, so this is it. So, this is basically what Chris and Chris Jr. saw when they were out in the woods. And yeah, and if you can look closely, you'll see that there's a triangle on the chest. It's very faint, but he describes that these entities, they all have like this pyramid triangle looking thing on them. Okay. Um, so yeah, so he finally finds his son and he's like, oh my gosh, what happened? Like, are you okay? Whatever. Chris Jr., he's like, Dad, like, where the heck have you been? And Chris is like, what do you mean? I've only been gone for 20 minutes. And he's like, no, it's been 4 hours. You've been gone all night. And Chris is like, what? Like, what happened? Like, he really thought he was on like a quick little 20-minute walk. He did not realize at all that he was gone for 4 hours. So, yeah, so then Chris tells his son what he saw. Chris Jr. tells his dad what he also saw. So they both saw the same thing. They're like, what is going on? The whole rest of the night sounds like a complete movie, to be honest with you. Like, I'm kind of like summarizing the story to like make it quick because I don't want to like, drag it on too much, but I want to give a backstory so like you can understand what we're talking about here. But yeah, but to condense it all like really, really fast, they continue to have like encounters with this orb entity being thing throughout the rest of the night. Okay. So they go back home. The thing is there at the house. The dog is barking because like it can sense that something's there, but like can't really tell what it is. So it's kind of like a questionable bark. It's like, okay, I can sense something, but I don't know what it is. Um, and he sees it there. And then there was also the coworkers that he was with. They all thought that it was going to be the end of the world because they also saw something as well. So they thought, okay, aliens are invading Earth. We're all about to die. We need to get home to our wives. Woo woo woo. Okay, so Chris, is trying to take these guys back home to their wives and stuff because they all think they're about to die. And apparently, as he's driving there, um, he came across an orb that ended up staying was in a spot exactly where his first wife died. Okay, exactly where his first wife died, and it was in that spot. And I think he said it was in that moment that he realized, like, okay, these things, because it like spoke to him telepathically, and so he like realized that these things aren't here to harm him. They're here to help him. That's what they told him. We're here to help you, not harm you. Okay. And he also had like a guilty thing with this whole like ex-wife passing. So he was holding guilt within his heart. And basically, this orb thing told him, like, hey, no need to feel guilty. Everything's okay. All is forgiven. All is good. And so after that he was like, you know what, I'm not scared of these things. Like, I really actually want to know more about these things. I want to grow closer to these things. So anyways, I highly recommend you just like go look up the full story because it sounds like something straight from a Hollywood movie. Like, it doesn't even sound like it really happened, but it could have happened, but I don't know. But anyways, so now, after having these encounters with these orbs, he ended up being miraculously healed by the by these orbs from Crohn's disease. So he no longer had it, and the doctors were like, "Oh my gosh, this is a miracle." And he was like, "You know what? It's all the orbs, okay?" So yeah, and then things just continue on after that, where these things continue to like come to him, speak to him telepathically. And then next thing you know, there was a time where he tried to share his experience with others, but like I said, he grew up very Christian, grew up in the church. Okay, so everybody in the church thought he was talking to the devil. They were bashing him, shaming him and his family. Okay, they're like, that is the devil's family. We don't want no parts of them. His kids were bullied and harassed while they were at school. Okay, because of this whole situation. So there was a time where he was like, okay, I'm just not going to share it anymore because this is hurting my family and I can't have this anymore. but the orbs continue to come to him and continue to like let him know like, hey, no, you need to speak up about this. And I think this is exactly when he had his encounter with the lady. And the lady is basically what he calls like the Holy Spirit in a way. I don't know. I don't know. I don't really know exactly how he describes the lady, but he describes the lady in like a biblical way. So he's basically, there was like one point I think his son Ryan was saying like the lady is the comfort spirit. And if you read in the Bible, Jesus says that there will be a time where I have to go, but I will send the comfort spirit to be with you in like trials and tribulations and stuff like that. So, yeah, so basically, this is how Chris describes the lady. Because in Proverbs, it talks about wisdom and it describes wisdom in a feminine way. And so he's pretty much tying the two together. So yeah, Proverbs 8:9 means that divine wisdom personified as a woman, Lady Wisdom, speaks in ways that are clear, straightforward, and morally right. But also, those who are spiritually perceptive, the discerning, or actively seeking knowledge, those who find knowledge, can truly understand and apply these truthful, non contradictory instructions for living a righteous life. So that is who he thinks the lady is. Okay. Now I have my own thoughts on a lady, but we'll get there. But that is pretty much who he thinks the lady is. And the lady speaks to him, tells him things that are going to happen in the future, you know, and what do. So fast forward, what was I going to say? So yeah, fast forward, Chris is now in contact with the CIA, in contact with NASA, you know, all the big, you know, the big folks up there. Um, he shares how he ends up getting in contact with these people, but I'm not really going to go down there because I don't want to like drag it, like I said. But yeah, so yeah, he's in contact with these people. These people are like running tests on Chris. They're really trying to find out how is he able to talk to these orbs and how is he able to communicate with the lady, because they've been trying to do that themselves for a long time, and the lady refused to speak to them. According to them, that's what they said. That's what Chris said that they said. Okay, the lady refused to speak to them, so they're like, okay, the lady speaks to you though, so we want to know why she speaks to you, what is so special about you, and what is she saying. Okay, basically. And I believe he's still in cahoots with CIA, NASA people, and everything like that. Like I believe they're still all working together. He's also signed a Hollywood deal, um, which I think is in relation to the Disclosure Day movie that's going to be coming out in the summer, I believe, right? I'm pretty sure it comes out in the summer.
You just
Um,
think it's connected, or you saw something that said it was?
no, I just think it is. That's what I just think it is. I didn't see anything that said that that was related, but when he was talking to uh, I forgot the host's name on the higher side chats.
Greg.
Um, oh yes, Greg. When he was talking to Greg in like 2020, he was saying the question because he was signed with Hollywood, and um, and that's what made me think like, okay, I think he was referring to the Disclosure Day movie that's gonna be coming out soon. So I think they have this idea like,
But Disclosure Day, I thought they were saying is like kind of a unofficial sequel to the Close Encounters of the Third Kind. That came out in the 70s.
yeah, but like he also been like low key in different interviews. He'll talk about like, oh, there needs to be a disclosure day, or there should be a disclosure day, and I see a disclosure day happening soon, and stuff like that. Like he was low key dropping those words in different interviews and stuff like that.
But
So
like you said, he never used to say orb. He used to say light, and then he started saying orb once that kind of came into the public psyche.
that's true. Well, I don't know. It could have been
Disclosure Day is a term I've really heard ramped up over the last maybe year and a half.
yeah.
But that specific phrase, Disclosure Day, I've been hearing more and more. And then, what do you know? There's a movie called Disclosure Day coming.
I know, which I feel like should be interesting. It has some good actors in there, so I feel like it should be good, but I don't know. But anyways, okay. So yeah, I mean, now the lady is able to give predictions. He shares these predictions with his CIA friends and NASA friends and whatnot. And yeah, so that's pretty much Chris. And he can also heal people with these orbs too. He's had many people come to his house and be healed by these orbs. Now, I cannot find anything to like solidify that. I mean, there's no one that's ever, said like, hey, I've been healed or anything like that, which I get if they don't want to, like, be in the spotlight and be like, hey, I was healed by Chris. They probably want to stay anonymous and, stay low key, whatever. But I mean, this is all just him saying it. So take that how you want, but like there's no like real proof. Okay, this is just him speaking that he can heal other people and that he was healed. Well, not him. He doesn't give credit to himself. He gives credit to the orbs. Okay, these orbs can heal people, and they healed him as well. So that's what he said. All right, and also with these orbs, was it Discovery Channel or was it the History Channel? I think it was Discovery that he was on, where they like came to his house and like
Oh, it wasn't. It was on the show Skinwalker Ranch or whatever that. I don't remember if it was History or Discovery, but I think it's basically the
um,
same thing.
yeah, pretty much. But yeah, so they came down to his house, and you can watch that episode. And they did the test. They said like, hey, all right, call up these orbs, and he did, and they got video footage of orbs floating in the sky. You know, I mean, so I don't know. It could be true. I personally have not seen it firsthand, so I can't really like speak too much about it. But like, they caught it on that show and they filmed it, and all of the people that were filming, they were all in shock. I mean, they even said at one point like the filming crew, like the crew were shocked. They were like, oh my gosh, like this guy can really call up orbs and they're really in the sky right now. Like, this is crazy. And they even did like a brain waves test on him while he was calling out these orbs, and they can see that his brain goes into like a deep, like kind of like meditative state, and like you can tell that he's like communicating telepathically with these things. So yeah, and he claims that anybody can do it. We all have the power to call on these orbs. Okay, and he says, I just do a quick little prayer, and I thank them for showing up, and they show up, and that's just what it is. So I don't know. I don't know. I also been seeing some videos circulate. Okay, I have been seeing some videos of people claiming that they also see things in the sky as well, and then recording it. Could be AI, could be real. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, anything can be AI these days, so it's like it's really hard to tell. Um, but I have been seeing that a lot, where people are saying that they also see like something like floating in the sky, like some like weird light thing. So yeah, I don't know. And then you have other people that say like, oh, those are just satellites. Now, me personally, I've never seen a satellite, so I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Um, I've never seen one. I never seen one floating in the sky. I've never seen one, so I don't know. But I don't know. So
Back to the higher side interview for a second. There was one point in there where he said that he had, and this was back in 2020. It was December of 2020. He said, "I have a feeling," and This is roughly what he said. I have a feeling that in the next, he made it seem like a couple of weeks, that there was going to be an orb that was going to come down, and it was going to be right overhead, and he was just going to take a super crystal clear video and finally prove everybody wrong.
yep, yep, yeah.
And
That was
he was like, "That's going to happen pretty soon." It's like,
yeah.
okay.
And we've never seen the video. We have yet to see it. See, this is what I'm saying. And then also in every interview that he does, I was telling James, it he just doesn't he can't he be baby talking because like he never gives details to what he's talking. Like you'll ask him a question, he'll answer it, and then when you try to like dig a little deeper with that question, he'll be like, "Well, I can't get into that." Well, what can you get into, Chris? What can you tell us? He'll be like, "Okay, we'll get into it. We'll get into it." Because now I'm jumping ahead. Because that kind of really irritates me. Like he can't talk about nothing, so he be low key saying a bunch of nothing. Like when you really listen to him, he be saying a bunch of nothing, and he be repeating himself a lot, and he be saying the same by the river story every time. I was by the river. I was by walking through the forest. Every time it's the same story, which I get it. Like you're trying to spread your story, but like it's also like there's no other details. You can't tell us anything else about what's going on. So I don't know. Whatever. Anyways,
Did he go into detail about his second whatever visit, the second big one? It was the 2012 visit. Did he ever? I couldn't find him giving like a
me
very
neither.
thorough breakdown of that one. But the
Me neither.
interesting thing about that one was that's when the lady. So that was or I guess that was in the window of time where he went ghost on everybody. But they
Yeah.
basically came back to him. And I don't know if this is the same story where they gave him like a fuzzy creature thing or not. That's another story.
Oh, right. No, I think
But
that's in the same story.
the lady came back and told him he had to share his story. Right? That
Right.
was it. That was the part that I kind of got out of it.
Yeah.
But simultaneously, almost immediately after this, he signs a deal with Hollywood where he can't talk about it. So does that make sense? Or is
This
that
is what I'm saying. Yeah. Literally. What the heck? Like, yeah, that's when he was like in his that's when everybody when his family was being harassed and bullied and everything like that from him sharing. And so that's when he went into like hermit mode. But then that's like how you said, that's when the lady came to him when he first had his first encounter with the lady. And the lady told him, like, no, you need to share this. Like, you need to spread the word and everything like that. Like, you can't keep this to yourself. So, yeah. But
yeah? So
then,
he
yeah,
runs to
he did
Hollywood
it.
and he runs to the CIA. That's the first
Right.
thing he does. Weird.
Right. First thing he does, oh, I need to tell CIA. I need to tell NASA. I need to tell Hollywood. Boom, done. Now I can't speak about it. It's like, what? Wait a minute. So,
Well,
anyways,
his reasoning on higher side was that he can do small little podcasts that only get a couple thousand listeners, but if he wants to reach people by the millions, he has to do it that way.
right.
So he figured the only way people would hear his story is if he got a movie deal, I guess.
That's so. I don't trust anybody like that. I'm
And then,
sorry.
but now he's just doing a podcast circuit. Like if
Yeah.
you go through YouTube, he's been doing podcasts consistently for years.
Yes, he's on everybody's podcast, literally, even the ones that I don't like Sean Ryan and them. So, yeah. So I'm like, wow, he's on everybody's thing. Um, but I mean, like, he can't answer no questions though. He's telling us a bunch of nothing. One thing I don't understand about the orbs is like, okay, he says that anybody can call them down at any time, but he also says, and his son also claims this as well, that these are angelic, like these are angels. And he doesn't like to call them aliens at all. So if that's true, how are you able to summon them? Because they don't operate on anyone else's word besides God's. You're not God. So how are they listening to you whenever you just call them to come down and do whatever or to like heal someone or something like that? Like I'm confused. Now, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe that's a misunderstanding. I don't know. like that's a little strange to me. Anyways, so yeah,
I don't know. Do these look like angels to you? Or is that how you would see an angel?
no, and that one with that one that's to the right of UFO of God, that one looks scary. The heck
Well,
is that?
that's very similar to his drawing. That's his drawing.
That looks a little. Now his drawing, it was a little creepy looking, but that looks scary. What the heck is that? what what is that? something about that. Oh yeah, and this is his book, by the way, UFO of God, where he also talks about his story and like his encounter with these orbs and the lady and everything like that. I have not read it, but I've heard that
Who's
it's a
that
very
supposed to be on the cover? Is that supposed to be Jesus? What is?
No, that's the lady. I think that's the lady. That looks like a lady. That looks like a
Okay.
lady. I don't know. Like I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. Um. Also, the hand. I didn't even notice that hand.
Yeah,
The
that
hand.
it's doing the ball symbol
Yeah.
where it's got the one up and one down.
Right. I didn't even notice that until just now. What the heck?
That's why I was like, who is that supposed to be? That was the first thing.
Yeah. See, I don't know about this. I don't know. I don't know about this. And then they also claim that these orbs are angelic because it knows that because it came to them and said that I am the comfort spirit, which is something from the Bible. Now, anybody who studied and read the Bible knows that the devil knows the Bible. Like it can recite scripture just like anyone else. So I don't know. I mean, like, I don't, I don't, I don't know. I don't know. Take that how you want, but like, it can recite prayers. It can recite scripture, like I just said. Like, it can do it all, just like any other Christian can. So take that how you want, but whatever. But he claims that this is angelic. It heals. It's here to help. It's here to save us. And we'll get into let's talk about the lady before we get into like how the whole saving and everything like that. But okay, let's talk about the lady next. So the lady, like I said, he claims is something from the Bible as well. This comfort spirit, this divine wisdom, this divine feminine energy wisdom. I guess I don't know. Um, but according to the daughter and the son as well, they both said that when the lady came to him, and Chris, I think he also said this too, obviously, but like he said that when he first had his encounter, it was like this this bright light just flew over his head and it knocked him off of his feet. And when he looked, he saw it was a cow, like it was like see through. It was like a cow with like horns and everything like that. And then it kind of like morphed himself into the lady. And so then it claims that the name of this entity says that it was Hathor, one of those, which is an Egyptian goddess. And she is, let me see, she is the goddess of love, beauty, fertility, joy, and music. Okay. And I'm not sure what that has to do with any of the stuff that he claims a lady has been telling him and doing with him and stuff like that. I don't know what that has to do with anything because it kind of doesn't relate. But the the spiritual like look of her matches. So like the whole like cow formation because Hathor, she has like these horns on her head that looks like a cow, and I think they also said that she can sometimes take a form of a cow. And so yeah, so that makes sense. But like everything else, I'm like, I don't know. But anyways, but she also said that she goes by many names. According to Chris and Chris's kids, she goes by many names. Okay. So I don't know. But yeah. So the lady told him that when you see, oh yeah, there we go. There's Sephora right there. So you can kind of see like on the top of her head, it kind of looks like, the horns and stuff like that. And
Often depicted as a cow, could also be represented as a lioness or a cobra.
yeah. So she was supposed to be like very beautiful way back then. Like she was like very beautiful looking. And he describes her as this very beautiful looking woman. Like she's gorgeous. Okay. And Hathor was also very gorgeous as well. So there's some similarities where, okay, I can kind of relate. But then I don't know. With the other stuff, I'm like, I don't know. It kind of doesn't really add up, but whatever. I mean, he also can't really give any details about who the lady is either. Okay, so he like kind of talks about her, but like can't really tell you like where she came from or like who she really is for real. Like he can't really give any details. She's just the lady. So there you go. I don't know, but yeah. Um, so according to him, the lady came to him in 2007, apparently 2007, and she told him that when you see, wait, are we allowed to say? I don't know. Can we say that right? That's not a bad
Uh,
word.
I don't know. Maybe. Might get banned.
No, it's just the name of the place.
Yeah.
It's not like we're
Don't
talking about
worry.
who lives there.
Just dub in Brazilians over it.
Oh my gosh. Okay. We'll just say Brazil. It's fine. So, so he claims that in 2007, a lady gave him like one of his like first predictions or whatever, and she said that when you see Brazil, wink wink, if you're picking up what I'm putting down, if when you see Brazil and Iran throwing, you know, throwing stuff at each other. We're not going to say too much of the words because I don't know what's safe to say and what's not. So,
Water
when
balloons.
you, yeah, when you see them, when you see them throwing water balloons at each other and going at it, um, that is when that is when the orbs will show up because there might be a moment where they'll take things too far and throw a really really big water balloon that can like wipe out everything. And she said, when that moment happens, the orbs are going to come in and intervene, and we're going to stop it. We're going to save humanity from this giant water balloon. Okay. And he didn't share the story at that time. It wasn't until 2012 where he actually started sharing that story and telling people on like different podcasts and stuff like that that this was the prediction that the lady gave to him. Okay. And so then a lot of people now are taking that interview that he did in like 2012 and they're like, "Oh, look, see, Chris is legit. Like he predicted this years ago." Like first of all, I don't even know how entirely true that is, okay? He could have just made that up right there. Like he could have made up that whole backstory about how this came to him in 2007 and he been knew this. Da, da, da. Like that could have been fake, okay? No, that's number 1. Number 2, this dude is like buddy buddies with the CIA and whoever else in the top elites who also want to know about the lady and the orbs and stuff like that. So he's like besties with these people. He literally calls these people his friends, okay? He does, okay? He calls these people his friends. And they could have told him, like, hey, listen, I want you to start dropping, little seeds here and there. Okay, not too much, but you're gonna go on this podcast and just kind of drop it a little. This is what we're planning on doing at some point. And I
Jesus,
mean,
you're
like,
stepping all over my segment later.
oh, sorry. Well, I'm just tapping on it. I'm just touching on it lightly, just lightly, because like I'm just saying my piece, how I think that someone could have told him this and then he could have shared it and to make him look like, oh look, he's some great predictor, like, oh my gosh, but the whole time like he's just a puppet, basically. Not to like say that in a mean way, but like I didn't know how to like a better way to put it. So yeah, he's just sharing what he was told to say. And so another prediction that was given to him is the start of Regulus. Okay. Now this prediction is one that really made me think like, okay, I don't know if Chris is legit because this is starting to be a little bit weird here. I mean, I already thought he was a little strange, but this kind of was like, okay, I don't know about this guy. So basically, the lady told him that when the star of Regulus aligns and it lines up with the Sphinx in Egypt or whatever, that is when there will be a great awakening. Okay. So he takes that information that he got from the lady. He went to his astrology friends and told them about this Star of Regulus thing, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, you know what? April 2026, that is when it's gonna happen." Okay, this was like a prediction that he had, like, a couple years beforehand. So they're like, April 2026, that is when it's gonna happen. And he was like, okay. So he put a date on Easter. Now, I personally think that he put that date on Easter because, Christians with Easter, they think like, oh, Easter Sunday, the resurrection of Jesus and everything like that. Like, I think they kind of just like put that in there. Oh, wait, what does this say?
That's everything you said.
Oh yeah. So there we go. That's literally what I said. Okay.
That's in his book.
Oh my gosh, this is in his book. This is ridiculous. When the red star of Regulus aligns just before dawn and the gaze of the Sphinx, a knowledge shall come into the world. I was not sure what that meant. I have come to understand that around Easter 2026, there will be the end of an old way and the beginning of a new. See? So he put it at Easter 2026. Now, I really think that he put it as Easter because it has like some, resurrection of Jesus type of connection to it, which I don't fully agree with, but, that's besides the point. So that's the reason why I think he put it at Easter, because the astrology friends just told him April 2026. I don't think they really gave him an exact day. So it went from April to being like, oh, wait, you know what? Dang, we messed up. October 2026. That's it right there. October. And then now he's backpedaling. Okay. Now he's trying to save himself from telling everyone that it was going to be Easter 2026, to now telling everyone that's going to be October 2026. He was like, you know what? I wasn't really feeling the springtime anyways. I was kind of thinking that, fall would make more sense. I wasn't really believing, it didn't really feel right that it was going to be in April. It's like, now you know that's a lie.
Not according to his book that came out 3 years ago.
Right. Like, you put it in your book and everything, sir. Now you know that's a lie. Now you just trying to save yourself from telling everybody that it was going to be April. And that was wrong. So now you're trying to be like, oh, you know what? I really wasn't feeling it anyways, guys. What do you... Now, Chris, come on. Be so for real. Like, you was thinking it was going to be April too, okay? So that's not even the end of it, okay? It went from April, October. Now it jumps to September. Now it's going to be September 2026, okay? Still fall time, I guess. But still, it's like, he's trying so hard to put a date on this. And also, the lady never told him a date, okay?
New knowledge that's coming this year. I predicted that. Well, I didn't predict it. I just told what the lady told me. And this alignment about Regulus.
So when did she say that would be?
Well, she didn't tell me when it would be. What she told me, she said, pay attention. She just leaned over to me with this beautiful smile. And she said, listen, pay attention to when the star of Regulus. Now, Regulus is a blue star. It's blue. When you look at it, it's blue.
The most powerful in the sky.
Yeah. She said, when the star of Regulus appears red on the horizon and before the sun comes up in the gaze of the Sphinx. So the way she showed it to me, it was sitting right on top of the sand, a little ruby. It looked like a red ruby, right on the sand, right in front of the Sphinx, out on the horizon. She said, when that happens, that will usher in or mark a new knowledge to humanity. In other words, an awakening, I guess. The same thing is happening now. So when I first talked about this, I called a friend that's associated with the Edgar Cayce Institute and some folks at NASA, and they come back and said, oh, that's going to be in September of 2026. And I'm like, dang, I didn't even know there'd be an alignment, much less it would be that soon. And so for 8 years, I talked about it on all these podcasts and until I quit talking for a while. And then I went back to talking about it, and I was saying, you can review them to September 23rd of 2026. Well, when I wrote the book in 2023, when I published it, I went back and I fact checked before I wrote it. I wanted to be sure. And so I called my friend from the Edgar Cayce place. She's associated with that. It's a literary agent that publishes astronomy books and astrologers. So she has a group of people that do the research. She came back and said, man, we made a mistake. We think it's going to be Easter. I'm like, well, she comes every year on Easter. Maybe that makes sense. So I wrote it that way, right?
So this is Easter of 26? Or
yeah, I wrote it that way because she came back telling me that they had made a mistake. But honestly, I never really was sure about it. And now I have since the book was published, all these astronomers are calling me, professional ones and astrologers, saying, we're seeing October. But what makes sense is the scientists that I'm talking to are saying that they know it'll be in the fall because the dust from the Sahara fulfills the atmosphere in October. and that's when they believe it'll turn ruby red on the horizon. So, but I don't know. I don't know. She told me, she gave me she said when it does this, right? So I don't know when that will happen, but I think the knowledge is already here.
And see, now that didn't make any sense to me either. The whole like the dust in the sky thing. What does that even mean? What the heck?
I guess the wind blows in October in Egypt, I guess. So it'll
But
just be
nobody
kind of
else is
sandy
gonna
and
see that.
hazy.
No one else will see
Well,
that.
that's what he's going to see it. That's why he's going to Egypt.
Oh yeah, he's going to Egypt come September. Yeah. But yeah, so he wrote in his book as Easter. Now they're talking about it's going to be I think he's set on the date September 23rd. I'm pretty sure that is now the new set date, September 23rd, 2026. Now, his son explained this on a podcast as well, because the podcaster that was hosting it, he was saying like, I'm a Christian, but like I'm a little anxious about like, this whole like Orbs alignment thing. Like I'm kind of nervous about the Star of Regulus thing. And he was like, well, it doesn't mean that it's going to be the end of the world. Like it's not going to be the end of the world. It's just going to be a shift of a new knowledge. What does that mean? I have no idea. Okay. None of them can explain what this new knowledge thing means. Like, are we all just gonna like ascend into like peak consciousness and like just like know everything come September 23rd? Like I'm confused. Like, and will it happen like as soon as it's like 12 midnight? Like we're just gonna wake up?
I will say that him and his son don't sound like Christians. And I listen to plenty of conspiracy podcasters that are Christians.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't sound anything like these people. Now, these people like them, which is interesting. And these people are supposed to be able to kind of see through things and be skeptical, but they are, in general, very friendly and believing of these people and just very accepting of them. And I'm not hearing it. I'm not sold.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's not enough there. I mean, the story's great and all, sure, but I don't know is the best I can give them.
No, yeah, literally. No, it's literally an I don't know. And it's not like I don't want to know. Like I'm open to it. Like I'm open to the idea of, orbs, the lady, whatever. As long as you can explain it to me and it makes sense. None of this stuff makes any sense. They can't explain. Oh, I thought something was on my arm. It's just my hair. I thought something was crawling on me. But none of them can explain what any of this means. None of them. Okay, they give like cool like context. They give like different like biblical stuff and everything like that, and like even like some Egyptian history and stuff. But it still doesn't explain what is going on and what they're talking about. Like I said, this Great Awakening thing, none of them can explain what it means. None of them can explain what's actually going to happen. And then, like he said, like the son said, it doesn't mean that it's going to be the end of the world. Like it's not going to be the end of the world. He doesn't think it's going to be the end of the world. He doesn't think that we'll even see anything. Okay, like
they seem like Gnostics more than I would call them Gnostics, not Christians.
Yeah, I think they believe in something, but I don't think it's Christian. Okay, and I'm not even okay. Yeah, that's what I think, because like I said, when he talks about God, he talks about God in like a very like, oh, whoever's up there type of thing, which any devout Christian would never speak about God like that.
He talks about it like a Brazilian.
Right, like literally like a Brazilian. Like, yeah, there's something up there. It's like no, like riding for Jesus Christian will ever say that. They'll be like, no, I know the one true God is up there, the one who gave us our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Like that's what they say. No Christian speaks like that. Like I'm like, what does that even mean? Like, and so how do we know that these orbs and that this lady entity that's coming to you is even angelic? You you don't even really believe what's up there. You say like whoever's up there, I'm speaking to whoever. So how do we know that these are angels if you don't even believe that whatever's up there? Like I'm confused. I'm confused. You don't even okay, whatever. So yeah, these all this doesn't make any sense. Like I said, I can't answer no questions. Every time they try to get into something, they're like, oh, but I don't want to speak on anybody's name, or I don't want to, can't talk about that. Oh. It's like, well, what can you talk about? What can you explain to us? What can you tell us about what's going on? And they said that when the oh yeah, this is the triangle thing, right? That
No,
he said was on
this is the Space Force logo. This is the official logo of like the government space agency. A triangle with the Sphinx and the star.
And the star. See, no, I don't. No. See, no, Chris. I don't know about you, Chris. I don't know. I don't know. Like, y'all really all could be fake. What is that?
The National Air and Space Intelligence Center. Look at their logo.
Oh gosh.
Sphinx, the triangle, and the star.
Nah, see, Chris can't be trusted.
And then,
sorry, I don't.
This is the logo that was on the chest of those aliens with the red eyes.
I don't know. I don't know about Chris. Listen, everybody can believe what they want, but I'm not falling for this. This doesn't make any sense. They can't answer nothing. I don't understand what this great awakening even means. What are we going to be awakened to? Like, awakened to what? What? What knowledge? What are we going to receive? What is it? What? Nothing. Crickets. No question. No answers. Just more questions. It doesn't make any sense. Okay, so the one guy that didn't believe him, which, you know what? I'm on this guy's side, okay? To be honest with you, I'm on his side because he went out to dinner with Chris. He met Chris. He asked Chris, like, hey, can these orbs show up anywhere, anytime? Chris said yes. He was like, okay, boom, have one show up right now. Couldn't do it. So I don't know. We'll play the video so we can get like the full story. But I was like, yeah, this is why I'm really questioning Chris and like everything he's been saying, because I don't know. I don't know. I don't think he's really as legit as people want him to be. Like,
I went to dinner with him. I'm trying to remember if it was after the hearings or before one of the hearings. Went to dinner with him and some other people that are kind of, in a way, they're kind of Chris Bledsoe groupies. And I'm saying that in the most, like, you know, they're good people too, but they're all friends together. So I didn't really know them very well, but they wanted to have a conversation. So I just happened to have the evening open and we went to dinner, and I didn't know who Chris was. I learned about his, you know, his story and what he claimed to me that he was able to actually communicate with, and that he had like the ability to communicate and call in UAPs. And so I asked him, so where does this happen? In the desert, over the water? You know, where can this happen? Over a city? And he said, anywhere. And I said, anywhere, any time of the day, at night, when? And he said, you know, pretty much anytime. It's easier to see it at night. And I said, what about right now? What about right here, right now? And I said that because I have been, you know, this last year and a half or more of being involved in this topic, it gets pretty frustrating to hear lots of stories, to hear people's firsthand accounts, and yet not have no receipts, no proof, nothing. And so I asked him if he would be willing to demonstrate that. We went on the Capitol Mall. After a few hours, I gave him a few hours and nothing happened. But then I was told that a few weeks later they went to the exact same location, and I think they recorded it was on Ross Coulthard's show. They actually released some videos that they had taken from their cell phones of some objects that they reportedly, according to them, that they called in with Chris. But I was not there, so I can't confirm that was the case. All I can tell you is that I gave him a chance, went out with him, and nothing happened.
So there you go. Nothing happened. Chris said it can happen anytime, anywhere, right here, right now, too. And so he was like, okay, make it happen. And it didn't happen. So I don't know. But like I said, I also been seeing videos of people claiming that they see these orbs and, you know, taking it back to Chris and be like, you know what, Chris was right. There are orbs up in the sky. I see them. I'm recording it right now and I've been seeing videos. But like I said, I don't know if that's real. It could be fake. It could be AI. I have no idea. I cannot confirm. So, yeah. So, I mean, okay. So I know like this whole time it's kind of really been sounding like I don't like Chris or like don't trust him or anything like that. I mean, I do think the things that he's been saying are really interesting. Like, I really think this whole Orbs thing and everything like that is very interesting. What's frustrating is that he can't answer any questions and can't like confirm anything. He's just kind of like speaking up in the air and doing the baby talk, which is my way of saying like when people like just go like touching the surface or barely scratching the surface and not really digging deep. Um, and so yeah, and so I'm like, I don't know. So I I'm kind of like I cannot confirm or deny his claims. Like, I mean, but right now it's really easy to like be like, okay, I don't think he's telling the truth. I mean, based on everything right now, but like he could be. I don't know. He could be telling the truth. All of this could be real. All of these experiences and his encounters could 100% be real, but I cannot confirm it. And the people that he's surrounded by, I don't trust either. So it's kind of hard to trust him as well. So yeah. Yep. So yeah. So that's what I think.
Okay. Yeah. So I found a couple interesting things I want to start with. I found this thread on Reddit, and that's where I found that picture of the talking about the Sphinx and Easter. So this is the boy that he healed. This is the one where he got a call from somebody in Washington, D.C., and he flew out there the next day, and this is the boy he healed. This is another picture. It gets weird. This is Tim Taylor. He's referred to as Tyler by Chris in a lot of things. He traveled to go to his daughter's track meet. That's weird. Like, I don't know too many adult men that just travel to they're high-level government officials and travel to other states to visit their friend's kid on like a random event night or for senior day or whatever the excuse is. That's just odd, especially when you never knew these people and they just started coming around because you reported a UFO and now they're, I don't know, just taking a weird liking to your family. Like, I find that odd. Here's another one. This is Jim Semivan, and this is his daughter. Okay. Now we're going to come back to this guy in a second. Is there anything else? He's just, yep. Lou Elizondo and Tom DeLonge. These are known guys in the UFO space. He is like a singer, I think, for Blink 182. I would have to deep dive him. And there's him with Hal Puthoff, who's like widely regarded as the grandfather in the space and stuff like that. So that Jim Semivan guy, I found a good amount about him. I think we can pull this up first. Just this will suffice for right now. Retired in 2007, the same year Chris had that sighting. After a 25-year career in the CIA, he was extremely high-level officers. Oversaw multiple divisions. Recipient of the agency's Career Intelligence Medal. So you got to be probably pretty high up for that, I would guess. They probably don't hand that out to just anybody. But very well decorated, high-level CIA officer. And he's just going to visit his daughter at college. Does that make sense? I don't know. I find that kind of weird. Like, this guy also happened to write. Oh, you went blurry. This guy also happened to write the foreword to Chris's book. So he's one of two. This guy, and there's another guy I found. another well-decorated high-level CIA agent who wrote the other forward. One wrote the intro and one wrote the forward, but they're both contributors on his book. Yeah. This guy, there was a couple interesting things about him. Like I said, very, very decorated career. Started getting to UFOs. He's done lectures and papers on UFOs. When he retired from the agency, he started up a company, I think, that did government contracting with the agency. So he clearly never really left. In 85, he founded the Advanced Theoretical Physics Project, which is another interesting little point I found. Lives in Vegas. So everyone, I feel like if you're into UFOs, you live in Vegas or
Mexico.
Roswell, yeah, those areas. So, in basically every interview I found, he just says that, oh, this guy's my friend, this guy's my buddy, oh, this guy I've known forever, this and that. It's kind of seeming like he's an agent. Like, it doesn't make sense to me any other way. Like, I just don't believe that these people are retired from the CIA and they just really want to hunt down UFOs, and they just met this one guy who had an experience. And why select him? Right? He reported his story to MUFON. That's how he got contacted by the government. Why did they pick his story? They just went by and they checked everybody else, and those stories couldn't be verified, so Chris is the only one? Or like, what is it? What about why him? That's my question.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that is how he got in contact. What was it called? MUFON?
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever that was. But yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Like, why did they pick him? Because I'm sure there was a bunch of people, like how you said, who also submitted stories too. But he was the one that got selected, and he was the one story that blew up completely. And now his family is like, I mean, all his kids talk about how they had CIA agents running in and out their house all the time, and
Right.
they basically grew up
That
with him.
the super head of the CIA went to visit his daughter at college. So, like, what are we talking about here?
Wow. Really weird.
I think there's about maybe a minute of this I want to play that was interesting.
Okay.
I'm like, Lord, I don't know what to do. This is all new to me. I have no clue what has happened. How did this all happen? Why? You know, what do I do? He said, well, you just need to come try. I'm like, well, it's 4th of July. My family's coming home the weekend, all the kids. We're going to do something.
I slowed it down slightly.
He's like, what's more important? You know, hanging out and partying or helping some child that is got to make a wish. He's going to die. He's not going to live past 12, 13 years old. And I said, well, you got me there. So next day I was on an airplane to Washington, and I was sitting at that young boy in the bottom right there.
Okay, so that's the kid that's in the photo with Obama.
Mm-hmm.
Why is he doing a conga line with CIA officers? Because this guy right behind him is that Jim 7 guy.
Jim, where?
This was right here, next to the little boys here. This is that Jim 7 guy.
And he's partying with them.
Yeah, he was sitting at the table with Obama. He's doing a conga line with the CIA. Whose kid is this? Who is this?
And when was this that he had to do this? Like, what? Well, obviously it was in Obama was in office. So, like, when was that? 2008
08 to 16.
to 16. Okay, so
Or so 2009 to 17. So it's right in that window.
Okay.
To his left is Jim Semivan.
There you go. To his left is Jim Semivan. That's the guy. The well-decorated officer who wrote a foreword in his book.
Wow.
Right, and then up here, I I believe this is the John Alexander guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think this is Chris's son. So he's over here dancing with another high-level CIA officer. And he does point it out, too.
This whole party is that was his bar mitzvah.
He's Jew. He's Brazilian.
Oh.
That's his bar mitzvah. Wow, weird. What?
Yes.
I found way more Brazilian ties, too. So
Oh my
the director.
Ryan, my
That's
brother.
Ryan, and this is Mike Morrell, the deputy director.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't right. It's not Alexander. It's just a different high level. There's just so many high-level CIA guys. I was getting them mixed up.
I
But
mean,
yeah,
either
that's
way,
Ryan
it's
just
weird.
dancing. He's just doing the young jock motorbike with some guy from the CIA.
Wow.
Wow, that's crazy.
Oh. my
I'm
God.
sure it's organic though. If I had to guess, I would say it's organic.
That is crazy. So they really were buddies with these people. Like, I didn't realize how close they really were. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Who is that kid though?
But there was well he knew Obama, he knew the head of the CIA, and they even got a special alien healer on the phone and got him on the next day to DC to heal him. So this kid must be important.
Like, yeah, who was that kid?
I would like to know. Said his name was
We don't-
Brandon, at least in that book. It says Brandon sitting on the president's desk in the Oval Office. He said that this is the kid, and he
Wait.
points him out in that picture.
Oh my gosh, that doesn't make any sense. That is weird.
One thing I found, so the other guy who wrote in his book, that John Alexander guy, this is what I was looking for. It says from 82 to 83. So this is before he formed his advanced theoretical physics project. So for a couple years leading up to that, they said he reported directly to Major General Albert Stubblebine. He was a self-described freelance colonel. I don't know what that means, but that means he got so high level, he just had a different level of power, and he wasn't really working out of the agency. He was kind of working a special mission because he was directly reporting to some guy doing quote unquote freelance CIA work, reporting directly to the top. So that's the guy writing in his book. I don't know. That's interesting. But the guy who he was reporting to, Albert Stubblebine, he's another one with a crazy decorated career. He got really into UFOs, I guess because of stuff he was seeing in the military. And he worked his way up to the top and kind of started overseeing a lot of these programs. Clearly very intelligent guy, chemical engineer. He was a long time in military intelligence. Served on a bunch of different panels. Looks like he's involved in the Stargate project, remote viewing stuff. So it's I'm thinking either Chris experienced something and it's actually something genuine to the level that all these people decided they had to sink their hooks into him.
Mm-hmm.
Like I see that as a possibility. Or the other option is he's some sort of agent.
Yikes.
Because I could see him being an agent and just kind of wiping. Because I didn't find much about his history. You said you found the stuff about going broke. I didn't find anything. Nothing that wasn't told by him. That's what I'll say. I couldn't find anything about his past that wasn't told by him. I found a couple of news stories. There was one out of like 2005, I believe, where he said that he built and sold 90 houses, but he was being sued because there was an issue with one of them. And I'm not going to hold that against the guy, if he built 90 houses and there was an issue on 5 of them and he was being sued by homeowners, if that's even who he actually was. I mean, it could be a different identity. I couldn't find too much. And then the main thing I started to see was posts from after 2020 talking about all the stuff he's talked about and happened to him in the past, but nothing from like basically pre-2020. I would say that most of what I could find was there.
Yeah. No, yeah, I mean, the info that I got from about him being broke, that was, he said that, and
Yeah.
his son said that. So I was just taking their word for it. That's what they said. That's the story that Brian, that on the Bledsoe Said So, when he was giving the background story about, you know, how they grew up and stuff. That's what he said. He said that they started off good, went broke. Dad started having orb encounters. But now that you show all this other stuff, I'm like, yo, who really is Chris? Who is that little boy? I mean, he was like, what was going on? Who is that? And the fact that he was like with Obama and all that stuff, and like his son just partying up with these folks. I mean, like, no, because they made it seem, no, because the daughter and the son, they made it sound like the CIA like tortured him in a way. Like, it was like scary being with them. Like, oh my gosh, these agents keep going in and out of her house. We don't know what's going on. And apparently they used to scare them when they were kids and be like, hey, if you ever tell anybody, no one's going to believe you, or we're going to come after you and stuff like that. Like, they talk about them like they were bad people. And they're over here partying up with them. The heck? Oh my gosh. What is this?
Illustration to make my point. So I would group everyone in the CIA up here in the top. This is the top tier, concealed knowledge. They know more than they're letting on. Chris is here.
Yeah.
You can also, they also call it like the pressure relief valve, stuff like that. Basically, everything is going to funnel through him. And that's kind of what it seems like they're positioning him, is like a way that this is going to funnel through him. And he's trying to take it the, I guess, angels and demons route. And then, you know, you come out, you see JD Vance saying it, Tucker Carlson saying it. All these people are kind of just using the same talking points, the same specific language. It's just something's off about it. And then, yeah, this is the bottom tier. This is where everyone else gets. We get the scraps they're willing to hand us in terms of information and knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
So
that makes sense. No, that makes perfect sense. Yeah. Yeah, they could that makes sense. Now I get it. Yeah, they could definitely be using Chris as, like how you said, like the funnel with everything, kind of like he kind of like filters everything to go out to us, the bottom tier.
yeah, and this is like a nice key point. It says consciousness is gradually reshaped through layered stage revelation, which is why I think a lot of people are going towards the alien and demon route, because that's what they're being told.
Right.
Because if you notice, we haven't, the whole alien thing used to be flying saucers and little green men. Now it's more orbs and light and angels and demons and shifting other realms. But that was a key step in order to getting us to this place.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's interesting. Yeah, wow. Oh my gosh. Wow. Wow, so we don't know what he don't know if he's, I mean, I feel like either way, I mean, he's working for them, basically. I mean, he's their puppet. I mean, I feel like, oh my gosh. The Oracle?
Yeah, that would be his position. He's used there to get everyone else to kind of flow through him. This would be going the other way. So this would be, the other way would be like CIA at the top, passing it to Chris. He's passing the message on down. And then this, I would look at this controlled opposition. This would be him then going on to podcasts, and then this is how he kind of he gets everyone to kind of, oh no, yeah, I'll just no, he's just a sweet old guy. He's just a Christian, and he goes in and people, oh, I think he's genuine. I think he does know what he's talking about. And then boom, his opinion is their opinion.
Right.
So so it shows you have all the dissenting public energy. Those are different opinions. It gets to him. He's the oracle. He's seen the orbs. He's been touched by the lady. He heals people. And then it's his message that goes out from that.
Yeah.
Which is possibly controlled by people at the alphabet agencies.
Yeah, that's true.
The figure actively sets the boundaries of what the truths are allowed to be, neutralizing real disruption.
Wow, that is crazy. Wow. Oh my gosh. Okay. I mean, but that makes perfect sense though.
That's just how I see him. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I haven't seen enough to convince me of. I'm just naturally skeptical of people, especially when everyone seems to just jump on and get attached to him. They just don't really. There was never any pushback in any interview, and when there was pushback, he didn't answer the question, and we just didn't go anywhere. Like even I like the higher side chats. I like Greg. I think he is a good interview. Now that was 6 years ago. I definitely think he's gotten better. I don't know how much. I don't find that he pushes back aggressively on guests like that, and that's fine. That's not his show. But I just have yet to hear him go on a show that wasn't super friendly towards him and really grill him about it.
No, yeah, I'm sick of this. I need somebody to grill him. Okay, grill him to a crisp because I want to know what is going on. I want him to be able to answer questions, or I want him to be backed so much into a corner where the whole story just drops and it's like, wow, okay, yeah, now we know for sure like this guy is not legit, like he's lying. One of those. Don't really care which one happens. I just want to know what's going on. I want somebody to be able to answer these questions.
I don't know. Him and his son are preaching the same. I'll just sit back as the divine powers coming, and it's the same. We've heard this before.
Yeah, what does that even mean? I don't know. People are being very gullible. I've been seeing a lot of people just basically kiss Chris's feet. I mean, like, I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, are we serious right now? Like, no one has any pushback, or like how you said, no one has any pushback or nothing. We're all just gonna take his story and believe it. We're all just gonna take the predictions that he made.
And just a couple weeks ago, his son was on that Illuminati Watcher podcast, the Isaac Weishaupt. Yeah. He was on that, and they were just jerking each other off the whole time. He was like, oh, I'm wearing my Bledsoe hat, and oh, I'll send you some new merch and this and that. And I'm just like, what is this?
No, literally. They were literally hyping each other. Like the first 5 minutes was them like gassing each other up. And then Ryan finally got into whatever. But I mean, I would say Ryan is very knowledgeable, but like I said, he says a bunch of nothing.
He's knowledgeable in the art of being on conspiracy pod. He knows a lot about he's listened to a lot of the podcasts is what I would gather. Yeah. Because he knows a lot of the talk. He knows, and he does seem very well researched on some of the topics. I will give him that. But I think, I don't know. That whole interview, I think the one he had with Greg, he just kept saying, "Oh, I didn't sign anything, so I'm not here to protect anybody." And it's like, well, okay, but it's weird because your dad did sign something. So you're saying that he has to protect these people?
Right. And even he didn't say nothing. He's talking about, oh, I'm not signed by nobody, so I can speak. You didn't say anything.
Right.
So I'm confused. You didn't drop anything new. So what are we talking about right now? I don't know. And we're just supposed to wait and see when this great awakening happens. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. He said that we most likely won't see anything, that it'll probably be a shift on a different realm that we can't see. We might see a little flash of light or something in the sky. maybe. Maybe. But we won't be able to see it.
And
We're just
then
gonna see the
just
siren
back to
head.
work tomorrow.
Yeah. Just clocking in the
Yep.
next day. All of us are peak conscious, and we just gotta clock in the next day like nothing happened. Like, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, I already was telling James about this. I don't trust dates. I don't like when people put dates on things at all. I don't like it. I don't because it never turns out to be that way. Like, so when they're putting dates on, like, oh, September 23rd is day, I just can't. I just can't, because every time someone puts a date or a time frame or something, it's just, I start to question whether or not this is legit. Like, I think, okay, no, no, I just don't think you can put a date on it. I don't think you can put a date on anything. If it's like how it's supposed to be, like how they're saying, like, oh no, this is just like some out of the world thing. How are you putting a date on it? Like, what the heck? Like, what are we talking about right now? Like, and then also, the lady never gave you a date. He literally said in an interview, the lady never told him a date. He just produced that date from the astrology friends that he had, but the lady never told him, like, oh yeah, it'll happen this year, or it'll happen, tomorrow. Like, she never said any of that. So what the heck? She could be like, Chris, what? Now, I ain't never said nothing about no September 23rd. Now, you, you just made that up. Like, I never said that. So I don't know. And like how I was saying with James before, like, I think that people want something to happen in the lifetime that they're in so bad, so they have to put dates on things. Because if not, then it's like, okay, they can't be left in the unknown of, like, not knowing when something's gonna happen.
Yeah, 4,000 years from now.
My light just died. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Golly, somebody doesn't want me to be great.
Well, it's all good. We're basically done anyways.
Yeah, we're basically almost done. So we're just gonna have to do with this mysterious dark light situation that's going on right now. But yeah, it can happen at any time, any lifetime. It doesn't have to happen right now, and I think people want something so bad to happen while they can see it. Maybe it might happen, but who said that anything like some great awakening is gonna happen just because the lady told you? Who even is she? We don't even know her. The heck? You just want us to believe it. We don't even know who you're talking about. My goodness, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. We'll see what's happening. Oh, and then what did he say? He also said that they're actively trying to have the book of Revelation happen in real time. So they're trying to, like, actively put things in place to have it happen. Who says it hasn't been happening for years? You know how long the Bible has been out? Who said they haven't been doing this? Who said this is trial number 1? This could be trial number 1665. I don't know. Like, who said this was the first time that they're trying to do this? Whatevs. That's just my opinion. But anywhoosies. Okay. So yeah, so that's Chris. And that's his whole story with the orbs and stuff and the lady and stuff like that. I mean, I guess we'll see what happens come September 23rd. I mean, maybe we'll come back to this and be like, you know what, guys? There has been a great awakening. There has been a shift in the atmosphere. Or maybe come September 23rd, nothing happens. And everyone's still NPCs and brain dead, basically. So I don't know. I guess we just got to wait and see. Because that's what he said. All we can do is wait and see. There's nothing we can do. So we'll check back in a few months and see what happens. But anyways, okay. It's time for me to get up out of here or us to get out of here. Because my light is dead and the lighting is terrible. So yeah, hope you guys liked this video. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.